The grandfather clock in the hallway had chimed twice, its echoes reverberating around the cavernous space before fading into silence. Its soft tick now the only indication that time was passing. I had just gotten into bed, my eyelids heavy with sleep, when a sudden movement on the wall across from me made me sit up abruptly. I blinked, trying to make out what I was seeing. There, taking shape in the darkness, was a shadow. Not the sharp, clear shadow of my outline that I was used to seeing when the sun slanted through the windows at noon, but something more amorphous, something that seemed to writhe and twist like a living thing. It shifted again, and this time I saw something that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. It had a face. I know what you're thinking. Don't be ridiculous. Shadows can't have faces, but I assure you, this one did. The glowing red eyes stared back at me from the darkness, and what looked like a grotesque, twisted smile stretched across its shadowy visage. I could have sworn that the creature snarled, bearing what looked like a mouthful of razor-sharp teeth, but maybe that was just my imagination. My mind reeled, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. Was I dreaming? No, the grandfather clock ticked loudly in the hallway, grounding me in the reality of the situation. And then the creature moved. It took a step towards me, and my breath hitched in my throat. But how? Shadows can't move. This one did. Every measured step it took was deliberate, purposeful, like it was stalking its prey. I wanted to scream, to run, but my body wouldn't obey me. My limbs felt heavy as if lead weights were pulling them down. My voice caught in my throat, a strangled cry dying on my lips. Slowly, cautiously, I started to back away from the edge of the bed, keeping my eyes fixed on the creature. It stopped for a moment, and for a fleeting second, I saw what looked like a hand raised in what could be described as a gesture of mock politeness. Then it dipped, its head bowing in a way that was both servile and menacing at the same time. Before I could decipher the meaning of that strange gesture, the creature lurched forward again, and I scrambled backwards, my heart pounding against my ribs like a trapped bird. Surely there had to be an explanation for what I was seeing. Maybe I had somehow wandered into the realm of the supernatural. Stories my grandmother used to tell me of Baba Yaga, the fearsome witch from Slavic folklore who resided in a house that walked on chicken legs, flashed through my mind. What if I had inadvertently opened a portal to her nightmarish abode? Or could it be that I was being tested, that this was some sort of trial by ordeal to see if I would succumb to fear? As the minutes crawled by, I continued to retreat, my back hitting the headboard as I slid down the bed until I was sitting on the floor, my entire body trembling. Then, as suddenly as it began, the creature stopped its advance. I peeked over the edge of the bed and saw it standing there, silhouetted against the faint light filtering in from the windows, its presence seeming to blot out the meager illumination. For a long moment, we remained like that, me huddled on the bed, it standing just outside the sliver of moonlight, sizing me up, I imagined. Then it did something that made no sense whatsoever. It turned and walked away, melting into the shadows as silently as it had appeared. I sat there for a while, my breathing gradually returning to normal, my heart still hammering in my chest. As the first pale fingers of dawn started to touch the horizon, chasing away the darkness, I got up, my legs shaking, and went to the window. Outside, the sky was the color of bruised plums, promising a storm. And as I watched, fat raindrops began to splatter against the glass. I never saw the creature again, but sometimes when the wind is just right, I can still hear its heavy footsteps pacing just outside my room in the quiet of the night, or maybe that's just my imagination. But this I know, fear is real when the darkness around you seems to have a life of its own.